Stand by A sound.
3, 2, 1.
Raleigh dissolve up.
All right, guys, we are in the open. We are in the open. I would say a minute and a half for you guys.
Hey, cancel your afternoon plan.
We will dissolve out to 3.
Find a spot on the couch. For a date with the cats.
Let's number 1 to 3. We'll number 1 to 3.
First, it's UK and Seton Hall meeting at Madison Square Garden. Then Chris Mack takes Louisville into Assembly Hall.
It's going to be one of the best environments, in the entire country.
For a major non-conference
10 away.
with Indiana.
We'll be out to 3
It's a
clean.
college basketball doubleheader today on WDRB.
And stand by. And effect. Mike Q.
Good morning and welcome.
Stand by camera 2 with.
We'll be getting you ready for
We'll have E1 on 2.
Involving all of the area's big 3. We'll join our crew up in Bloomington in just a few
Stand by
moments.
2. Take 2.
Let me welcome in our
Add their
crew here. I'm
names.
joined by Eric Crawford and John Lewis. Gentlemen, still early December.
Stand by
A
E4.
little more of a February type feel to these games. Should be ramped up a bit.
Lose their names.
It should be.
Camera
but as
1
we
on
know from
Eric.
watching
Camera 1 on
last year,
Eric.
These games can have an impact.
Stand by camera 1.
March, when
No doubt about
people
it.
start looking for signature wins.
Yeah, these.
Stand
maybe
one
not
on
even
John, one on
February,
John.
but Also March. I mean, these feel like NCAA.
We're gonna-
tournament
actually,
games.
we'll stay on the
Obviously,
three
there's
shot
gonna
for a
be-
second.
Well, for UK, it's going to be a neutral
guys,
site,
just stay on
but for
standby.
IU, I mean, the atmosphere up there is just going to be incredible for U of L.
I'm not sure how neutral it's going to be for UK. Maybe more blue there than
Blue
than
gets
Seton
in.
Hall blue.
Blue
is
gets
what I'm
in.
thinking. Yeah.
Stand by
Here's what
schedule.
we've got on
Flash to
tap
the
for
schedule.
you today we
All
will
right,
be with
30
you.
out, 30.
4006.
Player profiles, thoughts from the coaches. We'll sit down.
Stand by
with the U of L
ME1.
football coach, Scott Satterling as well. Fox College Hoops tip-off. We'll take you to the top of the hour where Kentucky will tip it off in Madison
Stand
Square
by,
Garden.
stand by.
Seton Hall. That
Stand
game
by
to be
stand by
followed
2
a
box,
matchup
camera
between
3.
U of L and IU.
Stand by
at
2
Simon
dissolve.
Scott Assembly Hall.
And
And Bloomington is
dissolve.
where we find the rest
Stand
of
by
our
live
WDRB
view 2,
sports team ready to
under.
cover the Cardinals and
We'll
the
go
Hoosiers.
with.
Joining us now live, Aaron Matus, Rick Bozich, and Anise McEwen.
Take.
Welcome to a very quiet, subdued
Stand by
Assembly Hall. We
BVO.
expect that to change relatively
Clean.
quickly here this afternoon. Louisville makes the trip up north to take on Indiana, a crucial game for both teams. And Anise, we expect a wonderful college basketball atmosphere here at 2:30.
Right, we've all been to enough college arenas to know this is one of the toughest to play in. The fans are literally on top of you, and the band's right there. I mean, just for us to even work it, it's hard, but it's a lot of fun, and it's tough to play in, and it's going to be a tough
Put
matchup anyways,
E4 in
even
the
if you
side
aren't playing,
monitor. Do
right,
you have a
Rick?
Quig out
Yeah, for
E4?
sure. 6-0 at home this year. They've struggled last week though against Northwestern. And although it's the second Saturday in December, it feels like a game that should be the second weekend in January or February, because really in terms of NCAA tournament talk later in the year.
B sound is next. Or
Indiana
I'm sorry,
just stepped
BVO.
into conference play in this weird Big Ten season. Now they step out of conference play, but the intensity doesn't go anywhere. And maybe a top 25 vote from Rick Bozich on the line today.
Came this close, putting Louisville in last week. It's an
Jesus
impressive
Christ.
week they had in terms of beating Michigan State at home and then going on the road
not-
and beating Seton Hall,
not
followed
the
up by
board.
crushing Central Arkansas. And I think if they beat Indiana on the road, I will put them in my top 25 there.
He's supposed to read a script for the VO, right?
We'll have to see what happens
Yeah,
when it
he's
comes to
reading
that
this pretty
vote,
much
obviously. He
word
gets a
for
couple days to think about it. First time we're going to see Archie Miller against Chris Mack. These are two big-time coaches taking over two big-time programs, and they know each other well.
Yes, they do. Archie is the younger brother of Sean Miller.
Roll
Matt
B,
worked
dissolve.
For Sean Miller at Xavier for 5 years, followed him as the head coach.
I only have 48
And they
seconds of
competed
this.
against each
Stand
other
by
when they were in the
X. We're going to
18
dissolve to
national
X
with
sound.
and Chris Mack
with-
and Xavier, and they've talked about that.
They have, and they were very complimentary of one another, talking about
30
you know, some
seconds.
similarities in their coaching. They both bring out the best in players, and they really, both said it's going to be tough. And they
Stand by
see
live
each
view
other,
two,
but that
maybe?
doesn't- The fact that they know how well they can coach their players.
Yeah, they know each other well. It sounds like there's a whole lot of
Stand by
mutual
X
respect.
sound. Stand by X sound. Roll X dissolve.
Chris has
We're
put
in
his
the
mark
sound,
on
47 on this. We're in the sound.
his own.
Stand by to lose
things.
super.
He has a very, very great offensive mind. Their execution,
Lose
the way they
super.
get guys shots,
Stand
the
by
way that
live
they
view
play,
2. Stand by
is
super.
very, 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 very sharp. Clearly, as he's inherited.
30
Louisville,
seconds, 30.
He's trying to again put his stamp on, but he's a fantastic coach. He's done a great job everywhere he's been. Although I was never on the same
Stand by
staff,
super. Add super.
As Arch, I
Don't
got to
forget
know
we're
him
tossing
on
back.
July recruiting trips. On coaching seminars, and
15
coaching
left in the
clinics,
Lose
and
super.
things of that nature. And, we were in the A10 together for a little bit, so coaches meet.
10 seconds. Stand by live view 2.
He's a ball coach. I don't know if he has any
5.
interest
Stand
outside
by.
of basketball, and he's a hell of a coach, and he's doing a great job at IU.
Take. Stand by camera
You
3.
heard Archie Miller say
Clean.
Chris Mack is putting his imprint already on this Louisville basketball team, and so far it almost seems like win ugly. They grind games out. They go to the free throw line a ton, but it's working for them so far.
Not really light on heart. A lot of these games, as you saw against Tennessee, and some of these other games going into overtime, coming down to the wire, but they're seeming to kind of maybe turning the corner a little bit and getting those close games, right?
Yeah, I think one of the most overlooked part of what Chris Mack has done is when he recruited, he didn't get any freshmen to come in, but he got 3 grad transfers. He got Juan Ford, he got Christian Cunningham, and he got Akoya Gao, and that gives him that veteran presence and some tough guys. That's why they've been good
Stand by
in these
3.
games that have been down to the wire.
Much more from us three in Bloomington coming
Stand by
up for
3.
now. We will toss it back to John in the studio.
Take 3. Stand
All
by
right, thanks, guys. And it
A.
is fair to call
Sound.
you a
Clean.
Akoya Gao a
We're going to
veteran.
U of L tween to
Basketball
A
and
sound.
of
U of L
travel
tween
from
to A
Sudan
sound.
To Egypt, to the U.S., then from U of L
So
to
your
Georgetown
next hit
to
is coming
SMU,
up
and now back to U of L. I sat down with a gal to talk about his return to the Cards
About
and his
12
recent
minutes
24th
out.
birthday.
Tween. Roll A.
McCoy, you just celebrated a birthday, right?
Yes,
I did.
I already see the look
All right,
on
we'll
your
have a
face. How many
countdown
people
clock
actually
in
know
this
who you are?
package. We have a
The
super first. I'll let you know.
Jokes
So guys, the next time we come out to you,
and comments that I've gotten on Twitter.
All right, you can update to a Romeo graphic.
Instagram. I mean, it's great to see, everybody
And
celebrate. my
Stand by,
birthday, but I've
super.
gotten-
Just Rick and Anise, and they're going to introduce.
I think I
Oh,
opened, I
God.
flooded the
That
door
scared the
when
crap
I
out of
started joking about my
Stand by,
age, and
super.
now I was just
Add
completely
super.
taken into this own thing that the city of Louisville has embraced. But it's great, it's funny. I've a lot of laughter, a lot of different ages.
Lose super. I need the U of L IU L2.
I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? So yes.
Camera
But you
3,
know,
can
you
you
have
loosen
to
up
laugh
for
about
me? Or
it.
camera 1, can you loosen
You've
up?
been welcomed back
I'd like to
this
see a little bit of
program.
the
I think
red
You're probably happy to be back.
in his
right?
shot.
I'm
Can you
actually
pedestal
happy to
down?
be
Would
back.
that show any of the
I
top?
obviously had my first experience when I was here, my freshman, sophomore
okay.
year. And, young, naive, whatever it was at that time.
On
but,
ME3, hey, camera 3,
when I
this is
decided
what
to
we're
come
going to go
back
to.
here, I knew
So
the city,
show him the
this
dissolve.
University, and also, not to play basketball here. but all
On
it
ME3.
offers. And that was just the biggest thing, I think I've been I don't want to say a lot, but 3 different other schools, and this is the best fan base in the country. And obviously, get an opportunity to get my MBA and, play for Coach Mack, who I competed against when he was in the Big East, and just a lot
Master,
of
we're a
different
minute
factors
away
just
from the
attracted me
countdown
back
clock.
here. I mean, people call it home, and I really kind of think it is, so.
Let's make sure that compressor.
Tell me
runs
about
off.
your
Go back that
travels,
setting
like
for a second.
from the time you left Louisville to the time you returned. What are some of the things that you picked up, and why did you come back to Louisville?
All right.
So
Go
obviously I
back to that
left
setting
here
again, because somebody's gate could do that too.
sophomore year semester. Went to Georgetown, sat out, ended up obviously tearing my ACL my junior year. Played my senior year. Obviously Coach Thompson ended up getting let go at Georgetown. That's when I decided to leave. Went to SMU. And at the time, when my year ended at SMU, I wasn't sure yet on my 6th year. And,
15 away from countdown clock.
see where
And
basketball
we'll
was
lose
gonna take me
the
afterwards.
key
And,
4 for it.
Just something kind of told me to see if there's
10
any way I
away,
can
stand
get
by,
6 to
countdown
improve.
clock.
And when that kind of happened, I don't know if it was the Holy Spirit or whatever you want to call it, or just something told me to come back to Louisville. So
Add the
when I
countdown
had that
clock.
feeling, and I just kind of reached out and I was like, hey, potentially I have the ability to get a 6th year, granted, and would you be willing to take me to come play for you? And then that's kind of what
Stand by to
jumpstarted
add key
everything,
4.
the compliance that Louisville
Add
did a
key
great job
4.
Getting the paperwork in and getting everything improved, and then I got here this summer.
All right, Master,
Now
thank
we're
you.
How old were you when you left the Sudan?
10.
What memories
Yep.
do you have?
Add the
of
bug
that
back
area,
in
and
for
why do you
me,
want to go back and
Master.
try to do
All right,
good
thank you,
there?
sir.
The country of Sudan, as far as like athletes and kids who can play the sport of basketball, I think it's really grown. We're starting to have
Hey,
more
Tom.
kids who are coming
Who
over.
might you ask a question
going
to
Israel
first,
and
Tom or
college and
Eric?
things of that nature.
Eric?
And obviously, like I said, if basketball doesn't work out for me, I was able to use the game
Okay,
to
thank
get
you.
my education.
So camera 1 on John.
They also have the opportunity to go give not only just the game of basketball, but the resources that they've earned through the game back home. And I guess I don't remember Sudan as much. I remember Egypt a little bit more.
1 minute. Can somebody, the cable that's connected to the desk, can we line that
I was
up?
a fan of soccer.
Where the grays with the gray and the whites with the
Coming
white.
to the U.S. and people told me I was tall and I should play this stupid sport that was called basketball. I'm like, that makes no sense. And then
Thank you.
just eventually ended up falling in love with it and just brought me here.
Camera 2 is next. Camera 1 is on John.
Okay.
What is it that you do maybe away from the game to kind of take your mind off of it? Do you hang
Camera
out with
1,
guys?
can you
What do
pedestal
do
up and
to
shoot down a little bit? I just want to try to see some more of that red.
I mean, truthfully, right now
That'll
it's just
work.
kind of grad school and basketball. That's kind of what my schedule really consists of. Obviously, with classes, and then now we're kind of in our season, get going. We're always on the road, but
10
so
away
at
from
school
camera
and stuff
2.
like that.
10
But
away from
sometimes,
camera 2.
read for
Nice
fun
big
if I
move,
can.
camera 2.
That was the biggest thing that I did when I was.
We're going to
younger.
dissolve out of it.
Was read, so I was expanding the knowledge. Love to go to movies. I'm a big
10
action guy,
seconds.
so whenever I can get out to the movies, and then most of the time I'm trying to nap.
5.
Sleep.
Is that what old guys do?
That is what old people do.
And Michael Q dissolve.
I can confirm.
Stand by camera
and
1.
Corey is not a guy who's just coming in here to take up 5 fouls and take up time. He in 16
Take
he's
1.
averaged 5
Stand by
points per
camera
game
2.
and 4 rebounds per game. So I mean, he's been a piece of this
Take
puzzle
2.
so far.
What impresses me about
Camera
him,
1
he's
on
not
Eric.
getting
Camera 1 on
20
Eric.
minutes, but the minutes he gets, he's incredibly
Stand by 1.
productive. I mean, he's the
Take
only
1.
player aside
Stand by
from Jordan
2.
Nora that they are using on a quarter of their possessions when he's in the game, and 1 in every 4 shots that Louisville misses when he's in the game, he rebounds.
Take 2.
He's really been
Stand
doing
by
well
camera
so far.
3. Stand
Seems
by
to be a real
ME3
emotion
dissolve.
here for this team as
Stand by
well.
ME3 dissolve.
It's been a really
Correct.
nice pick.
Yes. Coming
Nice
out
to
of
have
the
him back.
Roberts.
Romeo
Dissolve.
Langford, of course, has been a dominant presence in
Thank
New
you.
Albany
Thank
for
you.
years.
Stand by B. Sound
Now he's taking
clean.
the show north to Bloomington. I visited with his high school coach.
Stand by
Jim
IU
Shannon,
tween. Stand by IU
get
tween
his
to B.
thoughts on how his former star pupil now faring as a college player, and to see if there is in fact life after Romeo.
IU tween. Roll B. Sound.
Archie Miller knew very quickly what he had in Romeo Langford.
Just how talented
Reset
he is
L1.
athletically. I mean, I think you could probably say he's very athletic, or watch
Thank
him
you.
play and say, wow, but he just does things.
2 on a 3 shot out of
It's
this.
so easy and so smoothly. If he was a football player, he'd be Randy Moss. If he was a track athlete, he'd probably be Usain Bolt or one of those guys.
We have 1 super at
And the
37
freshman has
seconds.
delivered thus far. He leads the Hoosiers, scoring 18 points per game, and he's second on the team in rebounds, blocks, and steals, and third in assists.
Stand by super.
I
Ed
can tell you
super.
that. I'm always pulling for them right to the very end. They've had some really close games this year and some nail biters, and I'm on the
Blue
edge of my
super.
seat.
Romeo is
That's the only
gone,
super.
but never forgotten in New Albany. How has life been without Mr. Langford around?
Well, a little calmer, not near as busy, but I sure do miss
You have a
him.
46
miss him
for the
more as a
tees.
person, but we also miss his play. I mean, he's a great player for us, but just a great kid to have around. Did a lot for our community. It was a little crazy around here, but we welcomed it, and we loved
Yes.
it. And he was a great ambassador, not only to the sport but also to the school.
You know what?
Bulldog coach
Let's
Jim
just flash
Shannon is
because
one of many
it's kind
who
of a
are
quick
following
read,
his
so I don't want
progress
to
closely.
make it too
You
crazy.
Today's game will
Animation.
be the third he's seen in
Oh
person.
yes, what 4024
Do you find
over
yourself
X
watching
when we go
as
to
a
it,
fan
and
or
then
as a
4039 the
I think
whole
more
way
as
to
a
break.
coach. I'm always looking for little things that he's doing well, or maybe some things that he needs to work on. I don't bother him with it. I never text him or send him any messages.
Camera
I don't
2,
coach
can you
him
show me some of the stack on this move?
but
Put
in
safe
my
in
own
the
mind,
side
I do
monitor.
agree with it.
And Shannon is using the Romeo factor as a motivating tool for this year's team at New Albany.
And then get the logos in between them
Our kids,
when you
hey,
finish your
Rowe's
move.
gone. Doesn't
Thank
seem
you.
like we're getting much attention anymore. Nobody's in here to our practices too often. Things of that
Camera
nature.
1, can you
So
chuck
we've got
right a little
chip
bit?
on our shoulder, trying to prove that there
Okay.
is life after
When
Romeo
you
for
settle
our
your
basketball
shot,
team,
we'll
and they
slide.
wanna
We need to
blaze
slide
their
back
own
over.
trail.
10 seconds
So
from
do
camera
we
2.
coaches.
10
We
seconds
don't
from camera
want to go
2.
out there
Stand
thinking,
by.
oh, they're only good when
Stand
they
by
play
to
like
dissolve.
Romeo.
Dissolve.
New Albany now 2-1 on the young season after a close loss last night to rival Floyd Central. But yeah,
Stand by
Jim Shannon,
X.
Guys, there is some life after Romeo.
There is, and it's not like
Stand by 1. 1 on Eric. 1 on Eric.
Keep up with him. We're all still keeping up with him. He's leading the Hoosiers
Take
in
1.
scoring.
Stand by
It's
2.
great for the program. Anytime you can have a player have that kind of success.
Stand by X.
and
Stand by
move on
X
and
with
really
music. Stand by
lead
2
the
dissolve.
imprint in
Roll
New
X
Albany,
dissolve.
what Romeo did It's a great thing for development.
Stand by
Still
two.
I was kind of shocked that he was able to, come right out of the gate so quickly at Indiana. I thought to be a true freshman and to come up there, you got to get acclimated to the game. But he has so much natural talent and is such a coachable talent that obviously, the stats can tell you that what he's doing is right.
Well, he's had to pick up maybe a bigger role right off the bat because of all the injuries they
Stand by
had
two.
there.
We'll get one more
and
highlight
he's
in.
Been able to handle that pretty well. To
And
this,
dissolve.
Young point in the season. Certainly.
Stand by
impressive.
A.
Coming up a little
Roll
later,
A, flash.
We're going to change sports briefly.
Stand by
As I
B.
sit
We're
down
gonna
with
flash
U
to
of
B,
L
VO.
football Coach Scott Satterfield and Rick Bozich.
Roll B
will go
flash.
one-on-one
Stand by
with
IU U of L
Universal
animation.
Zach McRoberts.
And roll your animation. Stand by to fade to black. Stand by your brake master. And fade to black. Roll your brake. Stand by live view 2. 10 seconds.
Get away, stand by, stand by.
At least on that one.
Just worry about your
5, 4, 3.
2, 1.
Up on them.
Welcome back, Anise
Stand by
McEwen and
A.
Rick Bozich here live at Assembly Hall ahead of IU's game against Louisville. Now, one of the storylines heading into today was the
We will
health of
IU tween to A
and how well
sound.
they'll be able to come off their bench.
Yeah, before the season started in East, one of the problems that I think people thought Archie Miller would have in Indiana is finding enough playing time for all the guys. It turns out it's going to be finding enough guys to fill the playing time. 7 guys have missed at least
Stand
part
by
of the
tween.
game this year with injuries, and one of them is Zach McRoberts, who's now back after a big problem with back spasms.
Right, and you had a chance to catch up with him earlier. Has a very interesting story, and he's pretty
almost
humble
went.
guy.
Yes, he is, and he's ready for this game against Louisville.
Tween. Roll A.
Romeo Langford and Juwan Morgan are Indiana's 2 best players, but they've got competition for
Stand by
IU's
super.
crowd favorites.
That's always a good thing to be honest.
It's strange to say fans are in love with the Hoosiers' 10th leading scorer, but Zach McRoberts knows how to get Assembly Hall vibrating.
I think that's definitely been
Stand by super at super.
going out, making a little.
Stand by to lose.
Might not show up on the stat sheet. But
Lose super.
Loose balls.
2 minutes. 2 minutes. Live view 2 is next.
McRoberts didn't come to IU to beat Louisville. He came to study economics. A 2-time Indiana high school champion.
PFL Live view 2. Let's hear Aaron one time. Mic check Aaron one time. Mic check Aaron one time.
Scholarship player at Vermont. The future was bright for a guy whose older brother John
That's a good mic check.
was
Thank you.
in the NBA for 11 seasons. But in 2015, McRoberts quit basketball.
I don't think I was burned out. Just didn't really love it, and I think it's something you really gotta love playing at this level, at any level. Really, being able to go every day, whether that's lifting, playing, practicing.
At IU, McRoberts focused on his study of
Hey Kyle,
economics.
your time
He's
is right up
pursuing
there,
a master's
okay? For this
degree
half.
in business
Yeah.
analytics.
You had your time.
He played for an intramural team that he described as not very good. As strictly a student, how many IU games did McRoberts
Coming up
attend?
about a minute away.
No.
1 minute.
Tough to get tickets. Student tickets you got to buy at the beginning of the year, and I didn't do that.
After 1 season away, McRoberts rediscovered his passion for basketball. He called an IU assistant coach for a tryout. It went well. He was invited to join the team without a scholarship,
About
something
45
McRoberts
out,
still
45.
doesn't have. As a walk-on, McRoberts has become a critical and appreciated part of Archie Miller's team. Although he's been slowed by a back injury,
30
and taken
seconds.
just
Live
5
view 2.
shots
They'll be
in
tossing
5
the break.
games, McRoberts dove into the scorer's bench to make a save that led to a 3-pointer by Romeo Langford that helped Indiana avoid an upset against Northwestern last Saturday.
20.
It's a big 3 in the game, a big play for it. So
Okay, about
Romeo did a good
15
job.
away,
Make that
15.
shot.
It was the kind of play that Indiana
15.
fans appreciate, and that
Go
made
ahead, stand by out
McRoberts
there,
appreciate
stand by.
the stage.
10
in his
seconds.
final
Stand by to
season
dissolve.
of college basketball.
It's definitely it's
5.
an interesting ride how I got here, but wouldn't change it. And it's special running out every time in Assembly Hall.
Mic and dissolve.
So McRoberts could be a bit of an X factor for
Stand by
IU.
B.
Al Durham, Rob Finney could also be a factor today. What about on the Louisville side? Who's somebody that might not fill it up points-wise but could affect the game?
Darius Perry for me is one that could be an X factor. He's kind of filling that Quentin Snyder role from last
Can
year.
you bring
He's,
Aaron's
has
mic
a lot
over
of
here,
energy on the
please?
bench. You see him during the game. He's pretty energetic.
He's fun.
And then when he gets out there, he's great on defense, and he could be that one thing for them that puts them over the edge today.
It's got to be Malik Williams, if you remember back.
We will
his high
flash
school
to
stories.
BVO out of this,
It was a
and then a
bruising
U of L
recruiting
IU
battle
animation
between
to
Indiana
break.
and Louisville. Rick Pitino made him a priority, got him to Louisville. And last year when they played that game in the KFC Yum Center, he had a couple of critical threes at the end of the first half that kind of put some distance in that game.
There's not a lot of guys scoring a bunch of points, so I'm going to go with VJ King. I can't really believe he's an X factor, but he's been hit or miss, and he was great earlier.
Stand by to flash to B. Comes the tees.
With another big performance for Louisville. We're going to
Roll
take a
B
break.
flash.
Up next,
Stand by U of L IU
connection
animation.
Between the two schools that has danced its
Music.
way down to Bloomington and Louisville.
And animation. Stand by to fade to black. And fade to black, roll your break. Stand by live bump. 4. John will talk over bump. Up on the bump. Mike MQ.
You're
Stand by
taking a
camera
live look
1.
Inside Assembly Hall, where in just a couple of hours, U of L and IU will square off.
Dissolve.
Dave Woodley and Al Green.
Stand by A.
University of
Sound.
Iowa, but they'll
Clean.
have
We're going to
Rudy
dissolve to
Baker
A, or we're going to
U of
take
L,
A
IU
sound
game.
clean.
Woodley
Stand
is
by.
a longtime band director for the Hoosiers. Greener with the Cardinals. They got together with WDRB to discuss their fandom and how they help the fans cheer on their favorite team.
Rolly sound take.
Okay, just making sure.
All right, first super's at 12 seconds. I need the U of L IU background.
Really badly, and he wants IU to win.
Since I used to work at U of L many years ago,
Stand by
I've
super,
always
add
had a
super.
love for U of L, and I realize over the last several years we've been out-coached by U of L.
Lose super. All right, stand by your countdown clock.
You can cut that if you want. I think we bet for the first
Stand
time
by to
in
lose key
1980.
4.
We were both at the University of Iowa. We ended up, of course, being in band together, and we actually lived together. for a
Add
few
countdown
years.
clock.
And after that point, I got a job at U of L, my first job, and we were lucky enough to have Al come down and
Camera
join us
2 on
the
a 3
staff.
shot.
And then I ended up at IU, and Al was fortunate
3 years
enough
straight
to stay
up.
here with,
Still don't see
with the
countdown
program.
There it is.
I think
Stand by to
good
add key 4.
and effective band directors know what to play and how to
Add
play
key
on the
4. Stand by super. Stand by super.
One of the
Add
things
super.
that has changed nowadays is the increased canned music at
1
games
minute
and
left,
all
1
sporting
minute.
events, and which is a sign
Lose
of the times.
super.
So therefore, we try to do, and I think we do a really good job here at U of L of mixing
That's,
both the canned music and the band sound, which therefore
Who's talking
somebody
first here?
will like
And
whatever
then,
age group they're in.
will they say anything,
At the
the
time,
other
it
guys?
really makes for a good mixture of things to keep the crowd going and keep it a nice basketball atmosphere.
Do you guys ever feel like you've had a positive impact on a team winning?
So should I just come straight out to you or a 3 shot?
Maybe if it
Okay.
has or hasn't, but you like to think that way.
Okay.
And more
You're tossing to the live
the
shot.
students think that way.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree. We have to realize
Stand
that
by
every
camera
kid
2.
in our band is a student, just like Juwan Morgan, just like Romeo Langford. They're students, and they are
Hey, Vince, can you
giving their
tilt down
best
for me?
in what they do the best. We probably don't want Romeo to play trombone,
Correct.
and we don't want our trombone players to shoot.
Hold
free
right
throws.
there.
So
Thank
we
you.
each
And
do
zoom
what
out
we can
just a little bit.
to help each
Zoom out
other
ever so
grow. I think
slightly.
that's the best
Stand by
thing
camera
about
2.
what I do is getting our kids involved.
Stand by and dissolve 2. That'll work, thank you.
30, yeah, go ahead, stand by.
Stand by
We love
Emmy
the fans.
1.
We know the fans love them. We don't love them so much when we're about to do a live shot right in front of them.
Always about 6:27.
Camera 3, loosen up.
Tend to kick
Camera
up
3,
the,
loosen
fight
up.
song, and that's exactly the time we hit live shots out there.
My seat
Stand
is
by
right
2
in front of
box.
Louisville band for home games, so I know these guys, and
Stand by,
I think some
stand
of
by.
those trombone players can actually shoot the 3.
They might be able to. Dave and Al, they do a terrific job with both of them. Let's head
Take-
back up to
Stand
Aaron
by live
Richard
U2
East in
with-
Bloomington. We break down the keys to this game. We're not talking about the bands.
And take them.
All right, U of L, Indiana, two of
All
the
right,
most
put ME2
well-respected
full,
programs in the
or stand by
country, and this is
ME2,
the
put
last
the keys of the
meeting
game full,
in the current
under.
agreement,
Sounds
and
better, right?
really could be the last
Under.
year.
Yeah, it was a 3.
Stand by, dissolve ME2. Stand by to push back. Stand by to lose E1.
Big Ten has already gone to a 20-game conference schedule. The ACC is going that direction, so there's.
And
less
U of L's
opportunity
keys to the
for
game are
things like
first.
this. And Archie Miller has talked about he wanted to maybe play a series down there with Arizona and his brother Sean. So I'm afraid we won't see a Louisville Indiana game for a while.
And kind of a push from the Hoosiers, right, to win this one because they haven't been able to recently.
They're up in the series.
So
10-9.
camera 3, when we
Could
come back to you and we
even
toss
be
out,
up
you're going to be
before,
straight up,
before
but then
the
I'm going to need
series
you to make a
ends,
move
but
to show me
really,
that L1 for the toss
if you had
to the break.
Guess I would think Indiana needs this one. It's a home game, and because it's a home game, one they probably want.
And then we'll have the U of L, then IU fights
win
on.
schedule. Louisville could definitely benefit from it, but not necessarily a must-win, so to speak.
Yeah, whenever you're the home team and you're the favorite, the more the pressure.
Gotta make sure everything's running
Indiana
okay.
has 2 losses this year. They lost that 1-point game at Arkansas.
They might have pushed
got
back.
Blown up by Duke. Louisville had those 2 losses that are both quality losses to Tennessee and Marquette. So I agree with you. It's more pressure on Indiana for this game moving forward. But for both these teams, it's the kind of win that will hold its value on that Sunday in March when they pick the NCAA tournament field.
They might have pushed
They're
back.
both putting pretty solid resumes so far together.
Right, that Michigan State game I think adds a little cushion to them as far as losing maybe a game they shouldn't later on. Michigan State still being ranked and still being a fun team to watch in that sense. So that really helped not only at the time to just put them on the stage, but to give them a little bit of cushion, like I said.
We're going to look at some of the keys to the game.
Push
We're gonna
back.
Start with U of L, and the first one on our list, we kind of talked about it off the top of the show. Tune out
Stand
the
by to
noise.
update
This is a
E4.
building
Stand
that
by
if things
E3.
start
We should
going
have
wrong,
U of L
it
starting
can
lineup on
snowball
E3.
And very quickly, Chris Mack said in his press conference
No,
midweek
keys-
that you can't
keys
let
to
a
the
few
game. I know
baskets.
keys to the game.
Yeah, but we have
change the way
starting
you go
lineups
about
after
the
this.
Yeah, you can't let Indiana get out of runner.
I know. I need to make sure my next thing is up.
Which is right on top of you across from the visiting bench.
I know. We have to update E4 for that. I can't put that in preview.
Roy Williams, Tom Izzo have all talked about this is one of the 10 toughest places to play in the country. For the Louisville players, it's their first time here.
Stand by to update IU.
Pressure the ball handler, that's going to be a big one. We saw Arkansas kind of have some success with it against Indiana earlier, and the Hoosiers have been prone to turnovers.
Yeah, and they had a little bit of trouble too in the post when I was here watching them against Northwestern. Derek,
20 seconds of music.
Pardon, really had quite a good time there in the post, and so you're going to need either Morgan and or Justin Smith to kind of step
And then
up
start it
in that
again.
defensive area.
Third one for U of L is going to be win the toughness stats. We made it this far without saying toughness when it comes to Chris Mack's team, but it always comes up, and they're really going to have to grind it out here.
Or U of L?
Yeah, you thought we retired that word last week. We always bring it back for games like this. Louisville has a veteran team. They don't really rely on any freshmen. Indiana starts 2 freshmen in the backcourt. Upperclassmen usually just know that when you try and win a game on the road, you've got to be the aggressor.
Stand by to update E4 to IU.
You're getting the loose balls. And the toughness stats are 1, defensive rebounds, and 2, forcing turnovers and getting steals. Louisville has to win those categories.
For Indiana,
And fade out update.
turnovers
Give
must
me
stop.
IU's fight
We talked
song.
about Louisville pressuring the ball. Well, Indiana's going to have to deal with that pressure.
Yeah, and it's tough. Like we said, Darius Perry a little bit earlier. He's one of those guys that can get on top of you and force those turnovers.
Juan Four's been great.
Right. So the defense, if you can stay away from that.
All right, we will
ball,
sport
you can get
tween
those
to
scores.
E3 next.
Romeo
It'll be
Lee.
IU starting lineup.
You don't want to hear it.
Yeah, we've seen games.
We
this
can
year
hear
where
this
it's
sport
6,
tween,
7,
and then you'll have 4006 when we go to that.
Against a team like Louisville, if you have what they call live ball turnovers, which is what the whistle doesn't blow because the ball went out of bounds, Louisville will turn live ball turnovers into dunks and layups.
Both teams have been great at getting to the free throw line. Indiana's got to make them when they get there.
They've been ranking the bottom 50 teams in the country in shooting free throws. They did better against Penn State. They were 11 for 14, but less than 70%. Not only this year, but last year. You're not going to win close games missing.
Stand by to sport tween.
Free.
And they talked about it in the press conference after Northwestern that is something that they're focusing on. It's not like they're skipping over it in practice. They are going through those drills. They just are waiting for that to click in.
We talk about Juwan Morgan, Romeo Langford all the time with this Hoosier team. The third option they need to find, and Justin Smith's been a little bit of a
Stand by
disappointment
starting
there
lineups.
so far. They're still waiting for him, Evan Fitzner, somebody to step up and be the third scoring option. Let's take a look at the
Sport
starting
tween.
lineups that we're projecting for the game. The probables for Indiana, it's going to be Juwan Morgan.
All right, we will
Justin
update
Smith,
to U of
Romeo
L's
Langford,
and then a
Rob
2-box.
Finney, and
Stand by
Al
Emmy
Brown
1.
and Rick, the two guys, Morgan and Langford, probably going to need to be big, as they are going to have to be all year.
Yeah, generally they give Indiana anywhere between 25 and 35 points a game. Al Durham has probably been their most consistent third player, but I think Devontae Green, we talked about X factors for Louisville.
Give him a 3, loosen up for me.
Devontae Green is the X factor for Indiana. He's either going to be an X factor that's really good or an X factor who you'll make you close your eyes.
For U of L, we expect to see
Thank
Dwayne
you.
Sutton, Jordan Wara, Stephen Enoch, Kristen Cunningham.
We're going straight to the
Darius
2-box,
Perry
correct?
start
Yes.
the
Okay.
game. maybe VJ
Stand
came
by.
off the bench. I thought he could potentially be a big X factor for them.
He really gave some good flashes there against
Bring it
Central
up just a
Arkansas.
little
That
bit.
was kind of what people are waiting to see with VJ. So if he gets going like he did against Central Arkansas, it can be a big boost to that offense.
Of all the things we have on the line today,
Dissolve.
I would say, Tom, the biggest one is that
Stand by
potential
camera
top
3
25
full.
vote from our very own
Bring it down.
Rick Bozich. So keep
That's for
that
the
in
tees.
mind as we get ready for a great doubleheader
Stand by 3.
basketball today, Tom.
Take 3. Make your move. Stand by B. We're going to flash to B, VO.
We'll preview UK's meeting with Seton Hall, but first, a little football news. around
Row
here
B,
this week.
flash.
Scott Satterfield has arrived from
Stand by
Appalachian
U of
State.
L tween to
I sit down
black.
with U of L head
So
coach
preset
when we
black,
come back.
preset black. Stand by to U of L tween and U of L tween. No music. And stand by, and we're black. Roll your break, roll your break. 5, 4, 3. Stand by camera 3. Up on 3. Stand by A. Sound. We're going to U of L tween to A. Sound clean.
Program introduces the school's 23rd head football coach this week. After
Yes,
leading
we will hear
Appalachian
this
State
tween.
for the last 6 years.
Stand by to U of L tween
I got a
to A.
chance sit down
Sound.
with Satterfield as he embarks on this
Tween.
challenge.
Roll A. Stand by super. Stand by super.
Coach, you are essentially leaving your home
Add super.
to come here. How
Stand by to
difficult a
lose.
decision was that?
Well, I mean, it's obviously a difficult decision when you've been
Lose
in the
it.
place so long. I think I've spent 23 years in Boone,
All right.
North Carolina as a player, as a
Put
coach.
the.
And,
You know, we'll
and
keep
it's been
that. Or
difficult,
yeah, I need the
especially,
football
we have
safe
family,
in the
and-
stack.
And our kids are 9th, 10th, 11th grade. But this is
At
such a great
154.
opportunity for us and our family. We've done a lot of great things there at Appalachian State. And, we felt, this is a great
So
time.
cameras 1,
Let's go
2, and
see,
3. Check your
and
returns.
play football in the ACC.
Camera 3, you
I
can
think
give
we're
me that
excited
straight
about
up shot. Try to show me the logo. So we're going to come out to camera 2 full. Then we're going to have a full screen on E4. Out of the full screen will be in the step box that you guys will see in your
Had really fallen so far in
returns.
such a short time.
Well, I think usually if you're bringing in a new football coach, something did not go well, and yeah, so but it didn't go
The only
well
music
last
we'll
year
have
at
is for
all,
the
and I
T's,
think,
4024.
And probably there's reasons behind that. Is
Yeah.
the roster
This
needs
was my
to be
favorite
kind of
block on
overhaul,
Rondo.
or what do we need to do? What kind of players do we need to bring in here? We know we're going to try to tweak the culture, and we know we're
Or
gonna
camera
come
3,
here
can you give me
with,
that straight up shot?
to have a positive
Can I see a little bit of
attitude
both?
and everything that we're doing.
From what little you've
Put a
seen, and
on
it's
ME2.
not to this point, as
Put
you-
camera
as you
3 in the
said,
small box. I just
what
want
do
to
you
check
see as
it.
the biggest needs
So
on
camera,
this team?
okay, camera 3, give me the L1 shot. I want to make sure we see that logo.
There, I think if you go back
Loosen
to last
up.
season and kind of see what
Loosen up,
happened with
3.
that, playing a few guys
Right there.
we don't have many guys
Put
behind
2.
there. So we have to go
So
out
camera
and find
1,
some
put camera
quarterbacks
1 in there
that
real
can
quick.
come play, and so that's probably the biggest
Camera 1,
need,
check
and
your
tight
shots
ends
in
would
that
be a big
box
for
just
us.
so you get a
And
feel.
I
Stand by
think,
super, stand by
offensive
super.
line-wise, I
Add
think that's
super.
another issue that we need to have. We have probably around 8 scholarship O-linemen. We'd like to have that up to about 14.
Lose
And you're
super.
also kind of hoping to figure out a staff.
All right, stand by
in the next
countdown
week or two as
clock.
well.
Stand by to lose
Absolutely.
key
That's the other thing
4.
we have to do. Recruiting's,
On ME1,
primary,
go ahead and put camera
staff
2
is
real
pretty
quick.
close to,
Or on
we
ME2,
have to have some
put
guys
camera
go out
2.
and
There
work.
you go.
And,
Stand by
we're in the
countdown
process
clock.
of that right
Stand
now.
by to
Hopefully
lose
by the
key
middle of
4.
next week we'll have some guys up and running.
Go ahead and
go out
lose
do
key
some
4.
good
Add the
things.
countdown
A lot
clock.
of people
Go
would
ahead
look
and
at
add it.
this program and where it sits now and say it's going to take some time. It's going to take maybe a couple of years, few years to get things back rolling again.
Stand by to add key 4.
No, and I never have. I think we're going to do the best we can on a daily
Add
basis,
key 4,
daily
thank
basis,
you.
And then we'll take one game at a time.
No more supers,
And,
no more countdown clocks. We are done with the
cultures are
countdown
hard.
clock.
Yeah, well, cultures are hard to change, and I think they usually take time. It usually takes a year, maybe a year and a half, before you can get that thing start rolling, and then bring in the right kind of players, because the honest thing about this thing that's going to happen here in the next 2 months probably.
Camera 2, we come out to you. Can you show me that desk graphic? Are you able to get low and show me the desk graphic and then pull up to them?
You're working them hard.
That's cool. I'm cool with seeing a little bit of the camera.
So, but that's part of building the culture, and it's we'll get the right ones in here that want to be here, that want to put the work in, and we'll go win with those guys.
Start a little further back,
background
camera 2, because you're cutting off the S. I want them to see the whole.
You're from North
There you
Carolina.
go.
What
So wait till I
people
come to you,
know
then make your
about
move.
you
20
maybe off the
seconds.
field that they don't know?
I'll say altitude, take a breath, make your move.
I guess I'm a pretty
15
boring
away,
guy
stand by
off the
camera
field.
2.
I like to hang out at home. I like my family, just hang out with them, watch TV.
10 seconds.
I like to play a little golf. You know, so those are probably the two things I do.
5. This is music's gonna fade.
All right, Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, stand by 2, dissolve, and dissolve. Make your move.
On that golf at some point. Eric,
Stand by
we know he was not the
E4.
first choice after Jeff Brom said no. Seems like about as good as Vince Tyree could have done.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, he's a guy who's exactly what you want if you can't get Brom. And the thing is, he's a young coach.
Dissolve.
I think Vince
Stand by
is hoping he
ME2.
fits into that mold of Jeff Walls and Dan McDonald, where he's a young guy. He wasn't a high D1 assistant,
Right.
but he is a guy that has some recruiting contacts in ACC country, and he can be that young guy that builds a culture and has that kind of, look, they've been to College World Series, they've been to the women's Final Four and championship game with guys who weren't household names when they got here. Maybe he can do this with football.
Stand by
John, could he be
ME2.
that next kind of
Camera
guy?
1 on
I
John.
think
Camera
he
1
can,
on
and
John.
I think
Put one
Big
here.
Pickup, really, other than Scott Satterfield,
Stand by,
he was able to
roll
bring
B,
his
dissolve.
defensive coordinator from Appalachian
Stand by to
State
hot
here.
punch within the
Brian
box.
Brown was a guy who was in line to maybe be the head
Stand by
coach
2.
at Appalachian State after Satterfield left.
Take 2.
But he's decided to join the U of L staff, and I think that is big.
Camera 1
because
on Eric. Stand by
I know
camera
U of L
3.
Fans want to see a lot better defense than what they saw this past year.
Yeah, also hearing
Stand by 1.
former assistant here could be joining
Take 1.
him in that role in some way.
Yeah, he
Stand by
said
2, take 2.
recruiting,
Stand by 3.
is
Take 3.
1, and staff
Stand by
is
2.
probably 1A at this point. December 19th, obviously, is that big date for the first signing day.
Stand by 2
Not
full.
easy to do what he's trying to do in a
Dissolve
really short amount of
2.
time.
No, and I don't think
Stand by
he puts a lot
camera
of
1 on
pressure
Eric.
on himself to fill out the class like in 2 weeks. I think he knows he's got
Take
a strong
1.
signing day.
Stand by
He'll
2.
get who he can, but mainly
Camera 2,
he's
show
just
me the
trying to get
L1.
people that fit the program.
We're done with the box. Take 2. Stand by
Segue back
X.
a little
We're
bit
going to flash to
basketball
XVO.
here, when we come back, the Cats
Roll X
have
flash.
left their rough
Stand by
home. They
UK
head
Seton
to
Hall
the Garden.
animation
We'll learn
with
more about
T's
senior
music.
leader
Stand by
Reed
UK
Travis.
Seton Hall.
Break down UK and Seton
Roll
Hall.
UK Seton Hall. Music full. And stand by to fade to black. And fade to black where your break. 5, 4. Stand by camera 3. Up on 3. Stand by
Reed Travis
A.
is a
Sound.
different kind of one and done
Clean.
at Kentucky.
We will
Only
dissolve
played
to
one
A
season for
sound.
Cats because he's a
Hold
graduate
3. Good
transfer
job 3.
from Stanford. Basketball and brains. And Aaron Matus found out Reed isn't the only one in his family with that combination.
Roll A dissolve. All right, now I need the UK safe in L1.
What's going on with the Travis family that you're
Stand by
ending up at
super.
Stanford? You got a brother at Harvard.
Yeah, because that L1 needs to be blue.
Smarts.
2.
It's like good
Head
genes,
super.
And, I mean, my parents work hard. They give a lot of motivation without really saying anything.
Blue super. I think we're overlooked or overthinking it. Yeah. Camera 2 on a 3 shot is next. Camera 2, you might as well show me the desk if the L1 has red in it.
To my older brother, my parents did a good job of molding him and crafting him to the man he was. And
And then camera 2, whenever you finish your moves, try not to have Tom covering up that Seton Hall.
Do you and your
Like,
brother
try to get his head in
joke
between
about
both.
Harvard, Stanford.
We are done with supers in this pack. We'll be out to camera 2.
Yeah,
We'll have 4029 for B.
I mean, when you talk to Harvard grads, there's always a little, I don't know, animosity.
Are we doing all right
but
for
there's
the
always a little
Madison
something.
Square
I mean,
bumps?
We can try and joke. He's came to visit me a lot of times.
They are?
At Stanford, and the only thing he
Sweet.
says is it's not hard. I mean, he's kind of just like stuck into the East Coast and the East Coast bias, which is funny. I mean, I go out there and visit him at Harvard, and I say the same thing. Like, I prefer the West Coast too. So there's always a little battle between us with that.
How good at football were you? Don't be modest.
I'd say it's good. I mean, I feel like I could have played high Division I. I was recruited Iowa.
I'd rather just keep some things the same.
And I was really without doing
To play quarterback.
To play quarterback, and some bigger schools came on late and wanted to recruit me as tight end.
Not many
Yeah.
6'8", 6'9" quarterbacks.
No, not at all. It was an advantage. Definitely could see over the line. I love to pass it and throw it downfield. Wasn't much of a runner, but I mean, I enjoy football. I still miss it to this day, but it's just something that I really enjoyed doing in high school.
No surprise you're turning into a leader on this Kentucky team. I imagine you knew that was going to be expected of you being the grad transfer.
Yeah, definitely. Being a leader is something that I've done on every team I've been on, whether that's in high school, it's a 3-year captain at Stanford. That's kind of a role that I like to put myself into. I feel like I have ownership of the team at that point, and I can really just kind of put
1
my
minute.
mark and my staple on it. And then coming into this position where there's a lot of freshmen and underclassmen who probably haven't been through a whole season of college basketball and know the ups and downs and things like that. It's been up to me to kind of find my way to interject certain things and help the team, and ultimately it's going to help us win and help us come together. So I'm taking that role on. I feel like every day I'm getting more and more comfortable as far as what I should say and when I should put my touch on the team. So every day just getting more comfortable and just
30 seconds, 30 away from camera
big
2.
Experience, big venue, neutral site. What are your thoughts on this game against Seton Hall?
I'm excited. And like you said, big venue, Madison Square, getting to play in New York.
20 seconds.
Played in New York a few times while I've been in college. It's always a great atmosphere. A lot
15.
of people travel in to watch it. So I'm
Stand by
excited
camera
for it.
2,
You got
big move on
over
2.
in Seton Hall.
10 seconds,
Should
stand
be
by
a
2
great
dissolve.
game. I mean, anytime you can go play at a neutral site like this and you got the crowd and everybody there to watch.
Wait till I say dissolve. Stand by. And dissolve. Mike Q. Good job, 2.
In the summer,
Stand by camera 1.
Them up the preseason rankings, and I think he's getting
Yeah, we'll do a
them
2-shot here.
Most of what John Calipari was hoping for at this point.
Absolutely. Where would they be without him? He's
Take
the
1.
most efficient offensive player.
Stand by
right now,
2.
So that's one thing. And he's another great offensive rebounder.
Big move,
Something
2.
John
One more time.
Calipari didn't need,
Stand by 2.
but he certainly has used P.J. Washington.
Take 2.
And P.J. Montgomery.
Stand
are
by
the top
B.
2 offensive rebounders on the team, but he's right there. That makes them the best offensive rebounding team in the nation. He's a huge weapon.
And aside from the stats,
Stand by 1 on John. 1 on John. 1 on John. Stand by 1.
He's been there before.
Take
He's
1.
helping
Stand by
these
B.
guys
VO
who
with
haven't
music.
been in some of the situations that they're going
Roll
through
B,
now.
dissolve.
He can guide them through it, because I asked him
Stand by
in preseason
2.
about kind of his role, and he said that was one of the things that he wanted to do was to. You got a lot of freshmen on UK. We've heard this before. You got a lot of freshmen on this UK team. He's the guy who can come in there and speak from experience and tell these
Stand by
guys how to
2.
get through certain situations, whether it's on the court or off the court. And I think that has been a
Stand by
huge
2.
key for this team so far.
Dissolve.
I'd love to see a little more consistency
Stand by
from
camera
guys
3.
like P.J. Washington around Travis.
Take 3.
He's been
Stand by 2.
terrific so far. And as we alluded to, here's a big surprise for you. John Calipari.
Stand by X. Stand by the flash to X.
is
This
a
is the
very young
T's.
team.
Roll X flash.
Cal
Stand by
discusses some
UK
of those
tween.
challenges
Stand by
for this
UK
group.
tween to black
And
with
we'll look at
T's
the keys
music.
to the game for the Cats and the Pirates and the starting lineups.
Music full. UK tween. Stand by the fade to black. Stand by your break. And roll your break. Roll your break. Stand by A with.
3, 2, 1.
Roll A dissolve up. Stand by camera 3. Mike John Q.
Taking
Mike.
a look inside Madison Square Garden. You see the Wildcats warming up. UK
Stand by 2
and
dissolve.
Seton Hall. They're going to tip it off at the top of the hour right here on WDRB.
Dissolve.
Madison Square Garden. That is a
Stand
venue
by B,
where
sound
John
with.
Calipari
Stand by B,
has not
sound
lost
with.
since he's been coach of the Wildcats. 4-0 in MSG. To get to 5-0, he's once again going to need an inexperienced group to come together for a road win. Now, it's only December 8th,
Hold.
so Cal is still trying to get his young
Stand by B,
guys
sound.
acclimated to the system.
Roll B sound take. Have him go back to the desk. If we can move the side monitor back.
That's the biggest thing. Second thing is
Stand by to
lack of
lose
trust.
super.
Well, why do you have lack of trust? Because you're never
Lose
in the right
super.
place to help each other.
Stand by
'cause you have
camera
no
2.
discipline, which means you can't trust each other, and I better worry about my own
30
man,
seconds, 30
which
away.
is how they all play. And then in high school, because they were going to shoot.
And then camera
35
3,
balls
give me
a
the
game, each of
L1
them.
shot because we're going to put you in the
What
box
was their
again.
coach saying? Do not foul.
20 seconds.
So they just let people run around and then they shot the ball. And then the guy ran around him, and then they shot the ball. And then they.
So anyway,
and then they
we won't
come
have
in
any
and
music
pass
for
the ball,
ME2.
Which is why we turn it over right now.
We won't have any music for ME2.
Okay. I said I got a couple
5
guys
away
in
from
there.
camera
They're
2.
not the
5 away
worst
from camera
passers
2.
I've ever coached a couple
Stand by
guys,
2 dissolve.
But they're in the conversation.
Stand by to take.
So with this group,
Stand by
kind of
X.
defense, turnovers, something that Cal wants to tighten up a bit.
Well, I think you'll see it today.
Stand by
I think
ME2.
this is a chance for Kentucky to have another coming out party. They, the
Roll
Duke
X
game to open the
dissolve.
season, the eyes of the nation were on them.
Stand by to
It didn't
push
go
back.
well.
Camera 2,
Seton
you're going to
Hall's
be in a
little
box.
more-
So,
a lot more manageable
it's a
than
little bit
Duke.
loose.
You're in Madison
Stand by to
Square
push
Garden.
back.
It's a national TV game.
As soon as he gets
I
done
look for
talking, we'll
Kentucky
push
to play
back.
well in this game, and I think they take care of Seton Hall, which to me, they got their own experience
Push back.
issues, and they don't bring
Stand
a lot.
by camera 1.
Yeah,
1 on
this
John.
is-
1 on
I
John.
would say a turning
In the
point, but I
box.
think this is one of those when you look at the steps of the season.
Stand by
this
1.
is the next step. for a
Take
team
one.
that is young,
Stand by
inexperienced,
two.
has played a lot at home, but now they get to, in this kind of neutral site, although, as Tom mentioned earlier,
Take
it's going
two.
to be kind of UK-centric, but they get to play in this neutral site game against a
Stand by
pretty
camera
good
three.
team that, as you said, much more manageable than Duke get right out of the gate.
If there's a danger,
Stand by one on
chance
Eric.
that
One on
they
Eric. Stand by
played
one.
lesser
Take one.
competition here for the last
Stand by
couple
two.
weeks. And now you go up against a team that is good. They're just not
Take
good.
two. Stand by two full. Stand by two dissolve. And dissolve two. Stand by camera three. Camera three, you can do a straight up shot now.
We're at home since that time.
Stand
Let's
by
take you through the,
E4.
keys to
Stand by the
game
flash to
for
E4.
UK, first and foremost.
Flash.
They got to keep doing what they've been doing on the boards there. Plus 16
4041.
on the boards this season.
And we're going straight
This
to
will be the first
the
team
starting
since
lineup
Duke,
again, right?
that will kind of match
All
them
right.
size-wise.
Stand by
A little bit,
E3.
yeah, they do have some good quality inside guys, but
We will UK tween to E3.
especially on the offensive glass.
That plus 16 leads the nation. Now, one guy I think they want to see grab more rebounds is Nick Richards, who had 19 rebounds in that Southern Illinois game.
We'll have 4
But since
10
he's
on
only
the
had 8
key
total
starting
rebounds
lineup.
in the last
No
6
sound on
games,
those
they want to get him more action.
We'll have sound on
You
the
guys got to
tweens.
see Seton Hall in person last week when they played Louisville. Miles Powell is certainly their go-to guy offensively.
He is, and he's a problem. Now, Kentucky has a little more depth in the backcourt and maybe a little more talent in the backcourt than Louisville has, but this is a key we mentioned last week. And Louisville did a pretty good job on him. He still got his points. You just want him to shoot a low percentage.
2 minutes left in the show.
He
2
still got
minutes.
his, but he took a lot of shots, and not a lot of other people got involved, and that's what UK needs to do. I'm sure they watched a lot of that U of L film from last week.
Finally, Kevin Willard likes to switch things up on defense, much like his mentor, Rick Pitino. Cats have to deal with those multiple.
Camera 3, you can go and give me a bump. I don't think we're going to have time when we.
Defenses that a lot of the freshmen have not seen,
Stand-
so if they can take advantage.
And we'll
of
do
UK's
1 and 3 just to have them. Stand by the UK tween to starting lineups.
A little bit of advantage to slow Kentucky down and make them take a little.
Like we're sitting here way too long.
And one of the questions, obviously, for Cal has been point guard.
Stand by.
play. He's been rotating basically the two.
Stand by 2
freshmen
full.
there.
Stand by 2.
But they're not going to
Dissolve
have seen
2.
a lot of
Stand
what
by
they're gonna see today.
E3.
Well, they're going to see some full court pressure. Seton Hall will try and pick it up that way and try and get them to force some turnovers. And if they can get you into a few early,
Stand by to
it can be a
flash. Stand by to
problem.
flash.
Let's take you through the starting
Flash.
lineups that we expect to see for the Cats. It's Keldon Johnson, Emmanuel Quickly.
Show 'em 1 minute,
Tyler
1
Hero,
minute.
3 of the freshmen. Senior Reed Travis and sophomore PJ Washington on the front line as well. For the Seton Hall Pirates, their expected starting
I guess that
lineup
doesn't make sense
is
there.
Michael Enzi, Sandra
You can fade the music out.
Mamakaishvili.
Stand by
I think I
2.
nailed that. Quincy McKnight, Miles Powell, averaging
Stand by
22
30
a game,
seconds.
and Miles
Stand by 2.
Hill,
Dissolve
6'6"
2.
guard, so some pretty decent size for Seton Hall. And again,
Show 'em 30
pretty
seconds.
good
Show 'em
test
30.
for the Cats, coming off 7 straight.
Camera
home
1, can you
wins.
give me even wider?
Then
Camera
going
1, can you give me
into
wider?
Utah, North Carolina,
Stand by
and
3. We're going to do
Louisville
3 then
following
1.
this one, so we'll kinda see where
20
they are.
seconds.
It's a lot tougher from here on out, all the way to the end.
At
talked
15,
about how
start
this
sneaking
looks
in
like
that
a
music.
February kind of- this could be like a
15.
March
Stand by
thing
camera
coming up
3.
for UK as they roll out.
Dissolve 3. Stand by camera 1. 10, 9, 8,
Stay with us all day.
7, 6,
We got UK
1,
coming up.
5,
You have
4,
IU to follow. Have a
3,
great Saturday.
2. Add the copyright. Add E1. And stand by to fade to black. Fade to black. Roll your break.
Woo! That's perfect.
Good job, everybody. Good job.